Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Walleye Chronicles. This week we're talking custom rods with C&J Custom Rods, the dynamic duo of Chris Christianson and Joe Cordy, everybody. So sit back and enjoy. Today I have the dynamic duo behind C&J Custom Rods, Chris Christianson and Joe Cordy. How's it going, fellas?
We're doing great. Matt, how are you?
Wonderful. So I was able to meet up with you guys at the ice show, the Oshkosh Ice Show. How that end up going for you?
Wow. Shout out to Oshkosh because that turnout was epic. And the people that came through the booth, we surpassed all expectations we had of that this year.
It was great to see so many people that and lots of new ones.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it was you also wasn't the only one you did this year. You were in St. Paul as well.
Yep. We did St. Paul. This was our first year there. Again, too, that was another, it's been a great start to the ice season. So I think a lot of people were really excited. So yeah, St. Paul was another great turnout.
To have two fantastic shows back to back, one weekend, the next weekend was just it was awesome. I mean, never got to talk about fishing so much before in my life.
Right, they're pretty awesome that way. You don't even know, sometimes you don't even know who you're talking to. All of a sudden you just get randomly talking to somebody, and then 5 minutes later you're like, I don't even know who that guy was, but that was a great conversation.
Yeah, especially too, it's like, you'll be talking to people and you'll after 5 minutes, you're like, man, I really recognize you. He goes, oh yeah, I probably run our YouTube channel, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I've seen you from. So
so how much goes into, we always see that, you guys show up there, all your displays look awesome, but what really goes into a show like that behind the scenes, especially for a smaller company like yourselves?
Yeah, there's a lot of prep work, a lot of trial and error. If pictures from the very first show we did to, let's just say, our last show it's unbelievably different because we didn't know what the world we were doing on our first show. Three little tiny stands with, I think we had 36,
something like that. Yeah.
40 rods in our first show. I think we brought 300 some rods at Oshkosh and came home with 14. So,
oh my God.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
And the stands, it's, being just a kind of a part-time gig for me and him. We both have full-time jobs. So we make all the stuff with the help of friends. And, my dad's been helping out just a ton, keeping him busy while he's retired. We make all of our own rod stands and everything for these shows and all that. So
how long does it take you to make the rods for that show? I mean, obviously you are prepping to make rods for St. Paul and this one. So you must be way in the summertime already thinking ahead of what you're making for the rods then.
Yeah, so I think this past year, because we do it part-time, we started making rods in February, just so we could have enough to bring. Because, like I said, both running full-time jobs, both of us have families, kids at home, so got to make sure we have time for all that. But weekends, nights, long nights.
Yeah, whether it's just a matter of, I only have a little bit of time, so I go to the shop. Chris ties one rod or I glue up one handle, just anytime we have the opportunity.
Yeah, and we were making rods all the way right up until the St. Paul show. And then the night we got back from St. Paul, we unloaded and started working on rods to bring to Oshkosh.
That's kind of a great feeling though, huh? I mean, probably all of a sudden very daunting at the same time. You're like, our stuff's selling, but we're also have to make all this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we were joking about it too. Like, we just couldn't believe what happened, but yet we were so excited to be so exhausted from doing it all. Like it was just a different feeling.
Just kind of a glimpse into the future, a little bit of reaching our goal to where we can do this as our primary jobs and do what we love every day.
Right. So what got you guys started into this?
I think it was about 6 years ago. The custom rod market really started getting some traction, and obviously we were like anybody else. You'd buy the rod that was on sale at Fleet Farm, or I know for Joe, he's a big schoolie guy. He ran schoolies nonstop. Even in 30 feet of water, he's going hand over hand on them. And I started looking into the custom rod stuff and looking at it, deciding what to get. And it's kind of funny. I overheard one of a worker in a grocery store talking about making his own rods. So I stopped him and I'm like, what are you talking about, making your own? And he led me into this rabbit hole that I went down, and here we are.
So once Chris started building, he made a rod or two, and he's like, went fishing, caught fish with them, added it, just took it to that next level, building something and actually it working. And he's like, dude, you got to try this. And I'm like, I don't have time for everything else. Like, we wanted to get into duck hunting, goose hunting. We bought decoys, and I'm like, when are we gonna do this? He goes, just try it. So finally one day he goes, it's Friday night. You're gonna come over for dinner. I bought you a blank. We're gonna go down to the basement after dinner, and you're gonna start building a rod. I was like, all right, fine. Can't pass up dinner. Got to eat anyway. So then after dinner, we start building, and next thing I know, it's 3 a.m. and I have a rod built. And I was like, I don't order anything online myself. I go, Chris, here's the cash. Get me a rod kit. I'm going to do this too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So after a couple builds for us and then some for family, we were going to these shows, and we're looking at all these other custom rod builds, and I'm like, a lot of these custom rods look the same to me. They'll have different colors and whatnot, but like the handles to me, they were all just a straight color cork handle. Or some people use like a slick grip, they're called, with different colors on it. But I'm like, these to me aren't quite a true custom rod.
Right.
I think we got a little opening here. Maybe we could try to get our foot in the door, and that's when we decided, well, let's try it. That's like one thing that we really focus on then is when we do our rods, we want to make sure that no matter what, if you're buying it online or you're coming to one of these expos, that you're getting a true custom rod there's no other one out there like it. So we go through the time to make each of these handles, even for these shows.
Wow. It seems like some of them out there are just kind of more into just kind of like a production, like a small production runs. What kind of think some of these places kind of come down to. There's not a true, everybody can get things custom. It seems like you guys on your website and stuff, there was the colors you could pick from. I was like, Jesus, it almost would have made it harder for me to pick, custom do a rod. So you had, I don't know, I don't even know how many colors you had for thread choice and everything else. I'm like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know if you could put a number on the customizations that we have available on our website. So it's we wanted to give people that same feel when they go to these shows. We want to make them feel like they're actually getting a true custom rod.
Do you so the first rods you built, how terrible did they look? Or they look pretty good? You still have them?
I still fish with mine.
I still fish with mine. It definitely doesn't look like the ones we have behind us. But it's a labor of love. It takes a lot of practice, and when we were first getting into it, we gave a lot of them to some friends because we're learning. It wasn't turning out right, and we're experimenting with different techniques. So a lot of our friends are fishing with poles that they won't say C&J on it, but they're ours. But yeah, we've come a long way since our first rods, but that's it gives credit to the custom work you do. I mean, even though they don't look as good as they do now, I mean, we fish them hard. And after 6 years, they're still holding strong.
Hey listeners, let's talk outdoor streaming. What is the best outdoor streaming platform out there? Well, it's simple. It's Fix TV. Not only do they have this great program, but they have all kinds of hunting and fishing shows along with some weaponry shows. So when you get bored and need something to do, get your fix with Fix TV. Wow.
One of our first ones is my oldest nephew has, and he figures over 1,600 panfish, over 100 walleyes, like over 30 pike, including a 28-inch pike. And that's on a noodle rod with 3-pound test. Like, he's put that thing through the ringer.
That's awesome. So do you guys, when you guys go through it, do you kind of pick out how you want to make the rods feel? Is it often what you want to do, or you kind of go from a template, or how are you guys deciding what you're making and what you're stocking for the people?
Yeah, so as far as our rod blanks go, we kind of experimented with a few rod blanks that you can just go online and buy from manufacturers and whatnot. And then recently we kind of took what we liked most and met up with an engineer from a rod manufacturer, blank manufacturer, who we worked with them. We got everything dialed in, and actually now all of our blanks are manufactured just for us on how we feel.
Wow.
Gives everyone a really good variety, if it's panfish, game fish, all that stuff.
And also, just working with the different blanks and then trying the different lengths to come up with the most consistent and best product that we feel, through testing and trials and, just coming up with the best thing possible.
Yeah,
So how many variations do you sell currently in open water and ice water? Ice.
So open water, if you go on our website, I think there's probably 100 different blanks you could probably choose from for different lengths, panfish, walleye specific, musky rods, all that. Ice rods, how many do we have? We got 10 different blanks that we offer right now for ice, I think. 3 different panfish styles, 2 different walleye styles, and then a couple of like the real big lake trout rods as well.
And then with our panfish rods, we have a couple of different options as far as fiberglass and also carbon. So that way it's just another, the difference between a sight bite or a field bite, just so that way it's, again, more custom, so that it's exactly, what you want.
What do you think, as coming off these couple shows and stuff, what do you think that the end customer, guys like us or me, are looking for in rods that make them? Because it seems like a lot of people are pushing towards getting custom rods more than ever in the past. I mean, yeah, there's still people that are going to the big box stores and buying those rods, but it seems like the space that you guys in is really kind of blowing up. And obviously everybody's selling rods, what do you think drives the world to getting custom rods nowadays?
Well, when we talk to guys at shows, our first question always is, well, what are you targeting specifically? And they might say, well, we go for everything. And I said, okay, but what is it that you want to fish for specifically? Because we can just hand you a rod and say, yeah, sure, go ahead and catch fish. But we want to give you that rod that is going to perform the way you're intending it to perform. Like if you're just fishing for panfish with the smallest tungstens possible, and we want to give you that, like our whole hog, it's called. It's our noodle tip with a power backbone. You can put a 2 mil tungsten on that rod, and it'll actually show negative bite on that tip, because that tip acts just like a spring and it's so thin. So, that's where the big difference is. The box stores, they are catering to the whole, like anybody that wants to catch a fish, just here's a rod to catch a fish.
Yeah.
Whereas these custom rods are designed to specifically catch what you're targeting.
Right. Plus, I kind of wonder if, there is obviously the cheaper line of rods, but if somebody's looking for a decent rod, the prices are getting pretty close nowadays, right? I mean, for what you can get, spending $190 at the big box store, compared to if you decide to put another $50 into it, you're getting a full custom from you guys. It's, I think it's one of those things where people kind of get right to the edge. You're like, well, what if I spend a little more? I can get exactly what I want, the colors I want, and, kind of some extra cool features that people normally don't get from just going and picking up St. Croix off the shelf or something along those lines.
Yeah. That's, when we did it, that's one thing we really wanted. We discussed, like, man, we want to try to stay as competitive as we can, and it's tough. I mean, taxes on fishing is up there for the excise tax, especially just for rods. We got extra taxes to pay for that. But, if you make a price point unattainable for people, you're not going to sell any either. So, it's tough, but like we said, though, like you said, for an extra $50 and it gets you into that next level,
right. And and to be honest, you're probably jumping a couple levels. I mean, at that 150 to 190 range in the store, you're probably jumping 2 whole levels to get to where you guys are, your base level. I mean, that your kind of base level is probably a $300 rod,
I think our panfish base level on the open water rods, they're around 220, but that's going to be like 5'2" ultralights, stuff like that. Our base ice rods start at like 125, which we're like what, $50 off of some of the
that's that
box store stuff.
And some people are like, that's just too much. I can take, my Walmart rod and I can go catch fish. And it's like, well, everyone can be outside and enjoy being outside. But if your goal is to catch fish, everyone's time is limited. So if you're going to invest your time, invest a little bit of money, so that way you can have something that you really enjoy and really helps you enjoy and get the most out of your time outdoors.
Right. And I think it's one of the last areas that we're spending money in too. Like, it seems like all the areas of fishing and equipment, we the higher price stuff, the higher quality stuff, I should say, is coming out now. We're spending more money on that things, but it always seemed like the rods and stuff, we're just happy with whatever we had, right? And it's like that may arguably, other than the bait on the line, might be the most important thing you have, the thing that you're going to hold all day long. And I'm sure you guys can attest this: a whole day fishing, casting, or jigging a rod, if it's not very comfortable for you, it's a long day. There's a lot of fishermen that wear straps in their elbows because of rods that are either balanced incorrectly, or they just use the same old rod and don't upgrade to something that could be a little nicer, a little more comfortable for them all day long.
Yeah, we actually just we just sent it out yesterday. We built a musky rod for a person. And that's the thing, they were worried about too, was fatigue and stuff. So we're like, well, let us build you this rod and we'll show you that at the end how much it weighs when we're done. and it was a 710 heavy musky rod, and it weighed 14 ounces when we were done with it.
Dang.
With a solid cork handle with an aluminum reel seat.
Yeah. So with the components we got on there for him, I mean, it's under a pound. I'm like, you know, for an older gentleman too, I'm like, you're gonna be able to cast all day and not get tired with it.
Right. So do you guys do any trolling rods like that? Or you just stick to pulling hand stuff?
No, we do it. We do it all. You know, we have access to trolling rod blanks that we can get and all that. So
We've had some interesting requests, like a 10-foot 2-piece salmon float rod. That was an awesome build.
So what excites you guys when you see come across the order forms?
I think, yeah, it was funny. Me and Joe were talking about this earlier, kind of building and creating something that the customer's envisioning. And then when they actually get it, seeing that what they got is what they actually wanted. And it is a piece of art, actually, you know. Yeah. We're both really big into art. We love drawing and creating things like that. So I think that's a big thing for us is actually seeing what they wanted created.
I gotcha. So a little bit about yourselves. Where'd you guys grow up, each of you, and what got you into fishing?
We're both from the Stevens Point, Wisconsin area, so right in the center of the state. Our whole family's been fishermen, so we've been fishing since we were just toddlers. My uncles would pull me out of school to go ice fishing. You know, it's just a love we've had since we were 3, 4.
Yeah.
Since we could hold a pole.
Yeah. I'm the youngest out of 10 kids, and so
whoa.
Yeah. So, you know, kind of cook and catch, catch and cook, that was kind of the, a necessity, if you will,
Right.
but still was fun. I mean, growing up, my dad, he had a passion for fishing and sharing that with everyone. So like he would take me and up to 6 of my nieces and nephews all in a 17-foot Coleman canoe. I mean, to me, that spells nightmare, but that brought joy to my dad somehow, and we all lived to tell about it another day. So that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet the amount of flags you guys could have put out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then we met because actually my dad and his older brother were friends. So growing up, that's, we got to know each other and we were fishing since we've been 14 years old, together.
Okay, so what's been the worst day on the lake for you two together, or anywhere on the river for you together? Like, have you guys came to blows? I mean, everybody has issues in a boat. Did it get far into blows, or just not talk for the whole day?
It's actually been.
Yeah, we've never came to blows on anything.
I mean, I did give him a hard time because he kind of fell into a hole that was covered by someone when we were ice fishing like 5-6 years ago, and he wanted to go home, and that was. I mean, it's understandable, but it was kind of like a toddler move, but
yeah. But yeah, as far as that goes, I mean, I don't know. I think because we grew up fishing together, we kind of fished the same. And yeah, we've never really came to blows. We've had to take care of each other on the ice a couple times.
Yeah.
Making sure we drive the other one home. But
yeah, that happens.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Other than that, we usually have a pretty good time.
I mean, it doesn't get too heated unless, like he's catching fish and I happen to kind of maybe get close to where he was getting them. I mean, but it's pretty good. He shares sometimes.
That's funny. I mean, that's cool that you guys have taken, like a lifetime of fishing with each other. Obviously, you can get along if you guys decided to start making rods together and not, and working together hand in hand. So do you each make a rod completely yourself, or does one do one thing, one do the other thing? And how do you guys go about with your rod making?
So when we started, we wanted to make sure that each of us could make the rod ourselves. So we both know how to make the entire rod ourselves. But since we started getting into more of production, we actually have systems put in place in the shop where certain people work on certain items, the other people work on other items, and we kind of keep that assembly line going. It just helps things go a little smoother, a little quicker. It also helps each rod pass the eyes of or several times, so that way our quality control stays really high, and so does our consistency then.
So how many rods you guys pumping out a day or a week? Or because you obviously, if you're taking 300 to Oshkosh, I'm guessing you took 300 or so to St. Paul. Plus you have to make some just in regular. So that didn't take some while to make, 500-600 rods.
It does. And it varies, I would say.
And it's kind of a process, because it isn't like you take one single rod and just do it from start to finish. So like we'll have like 8 rods or so that are actually in the build process. So that way, like when you're tying guides, you have your wrapper set up so that way everything can be kind of more consistent. And the more times everything is the same, the quicker you can go and have, less defects or flaws, or, everything just goes smoother.
And I would say like 3 years ago, when we were trying to buckle down, we were getting like, I know it sounds bad, 3 rods done a week. But to us that was good. And now it's like, we're up to like 20, 25 a week, just part-time, that we can handle if we're really cranking. So, it's just putting these systems in place in our shop has really helped us with getting them out a little bit faster than we were before.
So do you have other people that help you out, or are you kind of just you two?
It is us two, and actually my parents help out a lot. My dad retired 2 years ago. And he was just kind of looking for something to do to keep him busy throughout the day. So he actually has a heated garage at his house. So we got the shop in his heated garage for him. So he'll go out every day. He'll go out 15, 20 minutes at a time. He'll putz around and build stuff. And my mom just recently retired, so now she's doing the same thing. They'll walk out there and putz around together, and I'll show up to the shop and have like 5-6 rods ready for me to go, and I'm like, dang, you guys are cranking. And it just keeps them busy, and it's helping us out a ton.
I bet. Yeah. Is there like, what's the most tedious part of it? Is the handle? You guys are obviously doing nicer handles, so I assume some of those handles take a little bit for you guys to put together.
Yeah. The handle work is pretty tedious,
especially on like open water, like a musky rod, when I'm doing ellipses and a little more detailed stuff. We have some customers request to inlay stuff into the handles, so I literally take like a scalpel and I cut everything out by hand, and I have to do it in positive and negative, and sometimes it takes more than one try. You can't do it with it finished at the finished diameter, so you have to get it close and then cut it out, glue it, shape it. So that's kind of tedious.
Yeah.
That's great. That sounds like a lot of work.
But I love it.
So what part of it do you like about it? Is it that you're making the fishing pole that someone can catch, or is it knowing that the fun they're gonna have with the pole down the road? What kind of is it that makes you guys want
to? So like to me, it's when people use our rods and they're messaging me, a couple days later, like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this thing, or it's one of the kids that comes to our shows and gets their very first custom rod, and it's, a bright pink rod, and she loves it because there's no bright pink rods out there. And, it's them making these memories and letting us know about those memories is like, it gives you a sense of accomplishment and purpose that what we're doing is more than, just getting involved in the fishing industry. It's actually having an impact on a lot of these people. So I don't know, for me, that's something I really enjoy.
Some of my favorite experiences are, being at a show and someone coming up and, if you're in St. Paul or if you're in Oshkosh, I mean, that's not really close to home for us. And so when someone comes up to you and they got their phone out and they're showing you pictures of fish and that they've caught, I mean, with something that you built and that they really enjoy, it's just something that you can feel. It isn't just an expression, it isn't something just words or someone saying something. You can actually feel that joy and happiness, and being able to help someone get to that point. Uh, it's awesome.
That's pretty cool. So, have you guys made any crazy rods for yourselves?
That's the worst part about it. I think I've made 3 rods for myself. At least ice fishing rods. I got 3 for myself. And I think I've got 3 open water rods for myself, and that's it.
Wow.
Like, I got no time to do it for myself now.
Yeah, I think my favorite personal build is probably my youngest son's muskie rod. That I was trying to coax him, and he's like, "Dad, I'm targeting muskies. I need a muskie rod." I go, "Okay, well, work with me and design it." And he goes, "It's from you. It's a gift from you to me. You pick." And I'm like, "Come on, that's a little bit of pressure." But for him to use it, and then this fall we were together, the 3 of us, and he got his first muskie, and it was a 36, and it was just a great day, great moment. Loved it.
So, how much do you guys get out to get fishing?
Less and less. Yeah. So it's funny because we had to make sure that we put goals in the shop that if we get X amount of rods done, we're going to take the day to go fishing, because if we didn't do that, we found we just weren't even going anymore. And, you hate to get involved in the fishing industry and just completely stop doing it. So,
right.
When you're getting messages from friends and, and you're seeing posts of people out catching fish, that's a great motivator to get stuff done.
Yeah.
So that way you get out there and you get to enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Right. And I suppose it must be tough because in order for you guys to turn this into full time, it's only going to get busier. I mean,
yeah,
you know what I mean? That part of like your life is only going to get harder before you finally take the jump and say, "Hey, let's do this," right? And then it kind of, I would assume then it would kind of come back a little bit, but until you get to that point where you can go, I think we're good if we can do this, it's only going to get busier because you need that sales, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that is a big challenge of finding balance for our secular work, then this side work, and then family, and then trying to get out and fish. So yeah, it's definitely, the balance has been, especially at first, was a little bit of a struggle, but as one thing that we strive to make sure we did is actually have balance when we did all this.
So setting up the shop in ways to have procedures and routine really help to the organization to make the process smoother, faster, to make it less stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I gotcha. So is there music playing in the shop, TV up there? You watching some YouTube ice fishing videos? What do you guys, or just
All
chatting
of it.
fishing? What are you guys doing?
No, it's music and it's TVs, it's ice fishing shows. Just yeah, it's a good time in there. You know, we got a fridge full of beer and the radio cranks. So
You got to put in a patron section so people can watch you guys work.
yeah, I was you know, recently talking with some Wisco 3. He's like trying to tell me, he's like, you know, you gotta start doing the live stuff. And him and also we're pretty close with Hardwater Freaks. We do a lot of stuff for him, and he does a lot for us as well. And same thing. He's like, man, you guys got to start getting these live feeds up, you know, so people can kind of see your work and do it, see what you do. So it's something we're definitely working on. It's a little tough in there with the heater going, because it's pretty loud, but
I gotcha.
so,
Yeah, I spent the other day watching the guy put tint on a window, and it wasn't until like 10 minutes later I realized that I let's watch the guy tint a whole car. Like,
right.
it would just, I don't know, it was just fascinating to me. I'm just like, I just watched a whole guy. This guy tint this whole car. What am I doing? I could be doing something else.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I've never really been super like social media savvy, so this has been a real that part alone has been a really big learning curve for me this year, of trying to get content and promote that content through social media and all that to promote our business. So you know, that's been taking up a lot of time too, but it's been great. I've had great help with that from people this year. So, you know, really appreciate everything that they do for us too.
I would imagine majority of your stuff comes of your people knowing who you are comes through social media.
Yeah. Yeah. Social media and then these expos, you know, getting the rods in people's hands is like, it kind of seals the deal. Once they pick it up, they're kind of sold, you know. So that's a big part.
The networking in this is awesome though. Like Chris had mentioned with you know, Max with Hardwater Freaks and Corey with Macula Tackle, just the whole group of people just encouraging one another, you know, with each other's products and encouraging each other to get out and use each other's products and just enjoy things too. And then Wisco 3 with helping, like Chris is awesome with the social media and that kind of thing because he's yelling at me I need to even upgrade my phone. Like I am just terrible at that stuff. So if it was up to me, I don't think 20 people would know who C&J is, but I'm working on it.
Who's the better salesman? If I put you guys in a room in St. Paul, who's gonna sell more rods?
I can talk to anybody, but getting them to buy the rod is difficult a lot of the time.
Yeah. You know, I would say we're almost kind of equal. Depends on the day. I mean, there's some days one guy will sell 20 rods before the other guy even blinks, you know, and vice versa. But you know,
I'm asking Chris at times, like, do I have coffee breath or like what is going on? Because there's people walking away and I haven't made a sale and he's like, I'm not having a problem. But, you know, another time Chris is like, they just walked away with 5 rods and I heard him come up to the booth and said that they don't need one.
yeah.
So, like, it just, you never know. It's like going fishing, literally, you know.
Yeah.
You have an expectation to catch something. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Wow. So, and you guys ship them and pretty much anywhere, continental USA kind of thing, or?
Yep. And we've shipped a couple to Canada as well. Little extra shipping charges for it, but it made it there safe, so that was good. But yeah, anywhere in the US is we ship to. So
Anytime I'm getting rods in from shipping any rods, it seems to be terrifying.
it is. everyone we send out is terrifying.
I mean, like when I hear from Chris, I just got a message today that so and so hasn't gotten their rod yet. I'm like, didn't we send that out like a long time ago? And he's like, yeah. And the post office says that it's delivered. And like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Post office isn't what it used to be.
No. And once it reaches the shipping gods, we just cross our fingers. We're like, all right, it's not up to us anymore.
That's
But
funny. So you guys
we haven't
stock
had
rods?
too bad of any problems.
No. Do you guys stock rods?
Yeah, we try to have a good amount of actually in stock rods on our website even, but after these past St. Paul and Oshkosh, we've been selling rods even since then, and we've had to pull them off the website just so we can sell them to customers coming into the shop. So I think we got some open water rods in stock right now because, obviously it's not,
Yep.
nobody's really itching yet. But as far as ice rods, yeah, we had to pull all of our in stock rods off the shelf and they're actually all sold. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great, I mean, that got to be a great feeling, but at the same time, a sad feeling because now you have, your inventory's down. You got to work the inventory back up.
Yeah. It's something we talk about almost every day on like, how this can't believe this even happened, but yet we're so excited that it did happen.
Right.
But now we're nervous because it's like, man, we got no rods for people to buy. Yeah.
So do you do custom rods? Obviously, how long does it take if I go on the website today and pick up what I wanted? Nothing too crazy, kind of a cool split handle cork. How long is that going to take for you guys from time I hit enter to time it runs up in my doorstep?
Yeah, right now on ice rods, it's a 2-week lead time, and we've been getting them out in about 7 days, 7 to 10 days. So, we're trying to over exceed that expectation right now, but
Yeah.
it is a 2-week lead time on that, and then it's about a 4 to 5 week lead time on the open water stuff, and that's just because of shipping. So.
Oh yeah, everything over 6 foot. That's the problem, right?
Yeah, it's shipping is just getting ridiculous, but it is what it is.
That is correct. So do you guys have anything coming up new for the new year, 2026? Are you gonna kind of stick with what you've been doing and kind of keep just pushing your stuff out there, or how's 2026 looking for you?
Yeah, we got like I said, when we got working with our blank manufacturer, we actually got a new color coming in for the year for 2026, and then I think we have another rod blank that we'll be releasing on our website shortly. So once we get all those details worked out, we'll have a few new things coming for the year. So
A fresh look on our logo.
we just had a fresh look on our logo. So yeah, things seem to be getting they're moving forward quickly, which is always good. Kind of establishing our name as our brand, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we do have some new things coming. Hopefully, I'm hoping we can announce it within the next 3 months. I know for the ice stuff, it'll be for the next ice season.
I gotcha.
That the new power we came up with and the new colors are going to be released for that.
Awesome. So when you guys started making that first rod in your basement after supper, did you guys ever think you'd be here?
No, not a chance.
No. I was just happy to have something that I built myself that I could put a reel on and not have to be hand over hand and getting a tough time from this guy with my schoolies, it's just that night was a game changer for me. Like every once in a while, I'll break them out in shallow water, but yeah, the schoolie days are pretty much over for me.
So, how long before after you guys did that first rod together did you guys decide to do this? Do you guys still kind of bang around just doing them for friends and stuff, or when was the point where you said, you know what, let's sell them to the public? When we should get this website kind of thing?
It was like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we were making, I don't know, 20 rods, and friends were just loving them. And they're like, you know, you ever think of doing it? And it's like, no, I don't know. Not really. And then, yeah, it was like 2.5 years. I think we were at an ice show somewhere, and I just noticed all these custom rods to me look the same, and I'm like, I think we got a chance to be different. So, that's kind of how it took off.
Awesome. Well, let everybody know where they can find you and how they can find your stuff, and can I give your plugs out?
Sorry, you actually broke up there for a sec. What'd you say?
So, let everybody know where you get your stuff from, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, so you know, obviously follow us on social media, C&J Custom Rods, and go to our website, cnjcustomrods.com. Options are endless on designing your own rod. You know, and if there's something on there that you don't see or you want more specific, just reach out to us either through social media or a contact form from our website, and we can go over more specific details for all that. So, you know, options are endless when it comes to custom artwork, you know, so don't hesitate to reach out. Don't even hesitate to reach out and talk about the rod blanks. You know, I've had people ask, they don't know what to get.
Hey listeners, let's talk outdoor streaming. What is the best outdoor streaming platform out there? Well, it's simple. It's Fix TV. Not only do they have this great program, but they have all kinds of hunting and fishing shows along with some weaponry shows. So when you get bored and need something to do, get your fix with Fix TV.
So I'll go over it with them on the phone on what they fish for and narrow down what they want. So yeah, just feel free to reach out.
Okay, last question for you guys. What's the most important component on a rod?
I would say the blank and the guide placement, because that's where all the pressure is going to come off of from that rod.
Gotcha.
So you got to make sure that stuff is properly placed, so that way you don't create snap points on that rod.
For sure. Joe, what about you?
I'd have to agree. Also, like with the guides, you know, not grinding them down, so you're not creating those pressure points, because that blank is the strongest it's ever going to be when it's bare, you know. And so then you add those guides on there, and you know, the placement and how it's wrapped, and how that epoxy is applied, you know, that's all super important.
Awesome.
And then next would be the handle with, you know, comfort and looks. And
yeah, a good comfortable handle can make the difference between a long day or just an awesome day on the water. No one likes the finger cramps. There's nothing worse than that.
Right.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on, guys. And if you like this conversation, remember to like and follow my pages, Smile and Fish on TikTok, or YouTube, Matt Snell on Facebook. And remember, there's 2 things you can do every day to give somebody a great day. 1 is give them a smile, and 2, take them fishing. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.